I told Patrick and
Our essential question, what types of real-life situations are best displayed with a scatterplot? A scatterplot is a type of graph in which two types of data are plotted as ordered pairs. So we plot them on the XY grid, the coordinate plane. They're used to show the relationship between the two variables in the data. They can also be used to show trends or correlations. This word is correlations. Alright, you should remember this from our functions unit. The independent variable is graphed on the horizontal axis. Which one is that? X. The dependent variable is graphed on which axis? Y. Sometimes a scatter plot shows two things that are related, but one may not necessarily be dependent on the other. For example, the text that you send per day does not necessarily relate to the number of Instagram followers you have. A classic one, your shoe size doesn't relate to your GPA. Alright, we have two different types of relationships. If something is going up from left to right, what do you think we call that? It starts with a P. Positive. Thank you, Kyra. As X increases, so as your time increases, Y also tends to increase. The slope of this graph, if we were to draw a line of best fit, would be positive. So a positive correlation means the trend is going upwards. Something else that would have a positive correlation would be the amount of money you spend at the mall and the number of outfits you have. If you spend more money on clothes, you're going to have more outfits, probably. Okay, not necessarily if you buy designer clothes. Alright, without talking, write down another example of a positive correlation. This is time in minutes and the calories burned during exercise. So as one thing increases, the other thing also increases. So you think of one example, and then we'll share a few.
It's going to be voluntary.
I'll call on people. Emery, what did you write?
I couldn't think of anything. I didn't write anything.
Yassine, what did you write?
I said age, the number of white hairs on your head.
That's a good one. So as you get older, your age increases, and for most people, the amount of gray hair you have will also increase. Does someone else have another one? Go ahead, Ralph. The temperature and what? So as the temperature increases, but so decrease is going down. Go ahead, Naveen. Okay, the amount of food you eat will depend on your weight.
I have one.
Yours and height.
The other way around.
Alright, your weight depends on how much food you eat. The bigger you are, the more food you're probably going to eat. As you eat more food, you'll probably weigh more. Jasmine?
It's 6. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. How, what's it called? how many hours of sleep you get versus how tired you will be in the morning.
Yeah, but wouldn't that go down?
So,
We're doing these.
Right here.
I have another one.
okay, what's your next one?
Things up and talk.
I didn't know it had to be like a big increase.
It's just right here. It's right here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Valentine.
Years and height.
Alright, years and height. Your age versus your height.
I understand that second when you get older.
Susie, what's yours?
The amount of babies you
Yeah,
have,
that works too.
how much like
How much money it costs? How much money it spends?
Yeah, how much money?
Okay.
One baby is $1 million.
Alright, the more kids in your family, the more money you spend on groceries.
yeah.
Alright, the next one, if something is going down, what do you think we call that?
Negative.
Wow.
We're smart.
As X increases, Y is going to decrease, so they're going in opposite directions. If we drew a line of best fit, the slope will be negative. So, this is talking about your car. So the older your car gets, the less it is worth. So as the age increases, the price decreases.
The older you are.
Okay, so we can do the same thing with your computer.
Yeah, this is what's right too.
So the older your computer gets, the slower it gets. As the age increases on your computer, the speed goes down. Valentine?
Oh, actually, no, the older you are.
The older
Actually,
you
not.
get, the stupider you get.
No.
That doesn't work. Hold up. The older you are, like the
older you get, the more stubborn you get.
It was the older you are, the worse you are. But like when you're like 20, when you're 20, like doesn't work.
Alright, the older you get, like once you hit 20, as your age goes up, the speed that you run will probably be going down.
What?
Yeah, you get old and slow.
You have to spend more money on.
Alright, now, if something is all spread out, there is no trend. What do you think we call that correlation?
Equal.
So this has no correlation. Everything is scattered without a trend. There is no obvious pattern between an X and Y.
All the speech of the sixth kid already knows.
So this example, the number of peanuts you eat at the bowling rink does not depend on what your bowling score is. Does someone have an idea of what has no correlation?
Number of peanuts eaten compared to the bowl.
What if you eat too much after like your head? What if you're allergic?
So like the number of hot dogs you eat at a baseball game does not depend on how many home runs a team scores.
So you could say the
Imagine watching a
amount of
baseball
schools
game.
doesn't
Could not be me.
depend on the president. So it's like stuff that has nothing to do with it.
The amount of hours you go to school and what?
No. So no correlation. Maybe like two completely different things.
Yeah. It, like your grade and how far you drive on the weekend. Like, not related at all.
How many cookies you get versus
if you tell the players on the TV what to do. Actually, that depends on what you like.
Yeah.
When I watch it, anime, I try to do.
Alright, the number of cookies you eat versus your GPA. Alright, turn the page. You guys are going to answer these 5 questions. You write the type of correlation. Your answers are either positive, negative, or no correlation. And a couple of them ask you to predict something. a hint, you can only make a prediction if it has a correlation.
Wait, are we done with our last unit that we did?
No, this is still part of that. It's data.
And this is our second to last unit, right? Mm-hmm. Alright, almost done.
What's the first correlation?
No correlation.
What's the next one? And if a television is 15 inches, how much do you think it costs?
$7.50.
$125.
Alright. Something low, like $100, $50, whatever. As long as your answer is between 0 and 500, it works. Alright, what's the next correlation?
Negative.
And if a movie has been out for 100 weeks, how many rentals do you think it will get?
0.
What's the next one? And if the temperature was 100, how many visitors would be at the beach?
628.75. You can't have a decimal because you're people.
Alright, and what's the last one? What's the last one? Okay, eyes up front. A line of best fit should fit the trend of the scatter plot. It should be in the middle of all the points. So there are roughly the same amount of points above and below the line. You can write an equation for it in slope-intercept form. And we're going to do that this year, I think. So, if we look at all of these points, which are hard to look at because there's lines all over the place, Q does not even fit the trend. It's going down while these points are generally going up. R is ridiculous. It shoots straight up. So between S and T, which better fits that trend? S, because it's in the center. There are points above and below the line. Alright, on the back, you guys are going to construct a scatter plot on your own, answer these 6 questions. Now, when you do this, you must have a title. You must label your axes. This question is on your test. If you do not label your lines and write a title, you would get points off. Most people lose points because they don't think a title is important and they don't write one. You have to write a title.
It already shows your axis though.
Yeah,
but it already shows your own axis. For axis.
Right, but labeling it is like writing these words down.
I got you.
Yes.
How do I know which one is X and Y?
It tells you.
Okay. These say X and Y. Anna, I think that you were asking between these, which is a good question. X is always first. Y is always second. Always.
It's like not knowing your left.
Congratulations.
I found my left and right. I'm not joking.
I have to watch some sort of 12th-grade episodes just to know with that.
In 5th grade, I used to know that.
Sometimes I forget. I look at it.
Yeah.
It's less intense. Why?
What's wrong with it? The only thing that's different he went to like going to after school. And he went to after school for 6 weeks, and then we didn't even put him on the
Let's get my amazing one. I just got it.
anyway.
Why does somebody like that?
For what? I don't know. It's like
I know. I'm a big
because he'd rather like he's so
Who won it?
like he knows mama. He's so bad for me. He's totally not good. And then he got mad because we played and all this time and stuff like this bad and he's not confident.
That's what my brother was.
Oh, it's mine.
Because they kicked out
Oh my! That must suck. I was clearly one. And then I got that shit.
You're 45 minutes.